Hi, and welcome back to this AI-900 Azure AI Fundamentals course. In the last lessons, we explored machine learning concepts, Azure machine learning, and computer vision on Azure. In this lesson, we will focus on language and text, using Azure AI language. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what Azure AI language is used for, understand the main pre-built capabilities such as sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, language detection, entity recognition, and summarization. Recognize when you need custom text classification or custom entity recognition. And map common exam scenarios to the correct Azure AI language features. If this lesson helps you in your AI-900 journey, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lessons. Let's start with the big picture. Azure AI language is a set of services for working with text. Whenever the input is written language, emails, reviews, chat messages, support tickets, documents. And the goal is to analyze, classify, or summarize that text. Azure AI language is usually the main service to think about. Computer vision is about images, and Azure AI speech is about audio. Azure AI language is about text understanding. In the exam, if the scenario talks about understanding the meaning, tone, or topics in text, you can almost always map it to one of the Azure AI language capabilities. Now let's look at some of the pre-built capabilities that work out of the box. First, sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis takes a piece of text, such as a product review or a support message, and estimates whether the overall sentiment is positive, negative, neutral, or sometimes a mix of them. For example, if a customer writes, "The delivery was late and the support was unhelpful," the sentiment would likely be classified as negative. Exam scenarios that mention analyze the sentiment of customer reviews or measure if comments are positive or negative are almost certainly referring to sentiment analysis in Azure AI language. Second, key phrase extraction. This capability scans a text and pulls out the main concepts or topics. For a support ticket like, "I cannot log into my account after resetting my password," key phrases might be login, account, and resetting password. If a question talks about extracting the main topics or identifying the most important terms in text, it is pointing to key phrase extraction. Another common need is to know which language the text is written in. Language detection can automatically identify whether a message is in English, Spanish, Portuguese, or many other languages. This is useful when your application supports multiple regions and you need to route or process text differently based on language. On the exam, phrases like detect the language of incoming messages or route emails to the right regional support team suggest using language detection in Azure AI language. There is also entity recognition, which identifies specific elements in the text, such as names of people, organizations, locations, dates, or other entities. For example, in the sentence, "John visited Seattle last week to meet Contoso's sales team," entity recognition can detect John as a person, Seattle as a location, and Contoso as an organization. If a scenario mentions identify names of people and locations in text or extract entities from legal or business documents, that usually maps to entity recognition. Some versions of the service can also help detect personally identifiable information, such as email addresses or phone numbers, which is important for privacy and compliance. Another important capability is summarization. Modern language services on Azure can generate short summaries of longer documents, emails, or articles. The idea is to keep the main points while reducing the amount of text the user needs to read. For example, you might have a very long customer support email, and you want an automatic summary that highlights the main issue and context. On the AI-900 exam, if a question describes shortening long documents into concise summaries or helping users read less while still understanding the key points, this is a strong hint for summarization in Azure AI language. Or, in some cases, for generative AI features depending on how the question is worded. So far, we've been talking about pre-built models that know general concepts and work on many kinds of text. Sometimes, however, you need models that are tailored to your own business domain. In these cases, Azure AI language supports custom text classification and custom entity recognition. With custom text classification, you can define your own categories, such as billing issue, technical problem, and general feedback. Label some example texts with those categories. Train a model that classifies new texts according to your custom labels. This is useful for automatically triaging support tickets, routing emails, or organizing incoming messages. Exam scenarios that mention classify support tickets into company-specific categories. Or use our own labels to categorize text. Are describing custom text classification. With custom entity recognition, you can train models to find entities that are important for your domain, such as product codes, contract IDs, or internal abbreviations, which are not covered well by general-purpose entity recognition. If a question says extract custom entities such as internal product names or contract identifiers, it is usually pointing to custom entity recognition in Azure AI language. Azure AI language is often used together with other Azure AI services. For example, a chatbot built with Azure Bot Service might send user messages to Azure AI language to detect intent, sentiment, or entities, and then decide how to respond. A search solution might use language analysis to improve results by understanding key phrases, entities, and language. A pipeline that processes documents might combine OCR from vision services with language analysis to extract insights from the text. In the AI-900 exam, it's important to see where Azure AI language fits in the overall solution. If the core challenge is to understand and analyze text, this is the service you should think of. Before we close, let's walk through a few example scenarios and map them to Azure AI language capabilities. Scenario 1. A company wants to analyze thousands of product reviews to see whether customers are happy or unhappy. Here, the goal is to measure positive or negative sentiment in text. The right capability is sentiment analysis. Scenario 2. A support center wants to automatically label incoming tickets as billing, technical issue, or feedback, based on the text. This uses custom categories defined by the company. The correct tool is custom text classification. Scenario 3. An international service receives emails in many languages and needs to route each email to the correct regional support team. This scenario depends on language detection to identify the language of each email. Scenario 4. A legal team wants to extract names of organizations and locations from long contracts. That is a classic case for entity recognition. Scenario 5. Executives receive long reports and want a short summary of each one. The solution is summarization in Azure AI language or generative summarization in Azure. In all these cases, the input is text, and the tasks line up directly with capabilities of Azure AI language. Let's recap what you learned in this lesson. Azure AI language is the main service on Azure for understanding and processing text. Its pre-built features include sentiment analysis to measure whether text is positive, negative, or neutral. Key phrase extraction to identify the main topics. Language detection to identify the language of each text. Entity recognition to detect names, places, organizations, and other entities. And summarization to condense long documents into shorter, meaningful summaries. It also provides custom text classification and custom entity recognition, which let you adapt the service to your own categories and business-specific entities. For the AI-900 exam, remember to look at whether the input is text. Identify what you want to extract or understand from that text, sentiment, topics, entities, language, or summaries. And choose the Azure AI language capability that matches that goal. If this lesson was helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and continue to Lesson 8, where we will explore another key part of the Azure AI ecosystem to complete your AI-900 preparation. Thank you for watching.